I had further thoughts on evidence-based medicine, and I decided to make a second video about it. So if you want context, you'll have to go back to that first video. I'll put a link to it in the comments. So see that first before you come here. So when you want to take a decision about your life, um, you and that it's going to affect only you. Um, I think it's very it's arguable that um, it's okay to take a decision for yourself and not let the government or the medical bodies decide what to do with you. Um, I'll give you a parallel, just like I did with the previous example in the previous video. In a legal system, when you hear about these sensational cases, right? Some heinous crimes being done. You know who's done it. The whole world knows who's done it. Um, but you can't lynch them because we're a civilized society, and I agree with that. You shouldn't be lynching them on the streets. Um, but that's a society. That's a group of people. The decision made there will have wider implications throughout the society. Therefore, you cannot jump past um, jump past the legal procedure, and you'll have to stick to the legal procedure. But what it actually leads to is you'll find that the criminal's been caught, he's in jail, he's having a reasonably cushy life. um, the case drags on for years together, and 20 years down the line the judgment is produced, and then the criminal gets sentenced. Sometimes they go free, but by the time the judgment has been um, given, the criminal's half dead, the victim's long dead, the people's interest in the case has died along with the victim, um, and the media is nowhere to be seen. So it that that judgment now lacks relevance to the people it affected. So it's the same thing with medical evidence too. See, because all of those things that they told you were harmful in the past, and they created entire industries and treatments around it. Uh, Most of those, all of those, um, have now been proven to be false. And 20 years down the line, they say, "Oops, we made a mistake," and they don't have to face the consequences of what they have made you do. You face the consequences. So if you're making a diet or a lifestyle change, and you're waiting for government evidence, or you're waiting for the medical bodies to produce evidence, and you're going to then decide after the evidence comes, it's going to be too late. So you'll have to man up, you'll have to grow a pair, you'll have to do your own reading, you'll have to be more mindful of what you're doing to yourself, um, and go step by step. Take it slow, and learn what's happening, observe what's happening when you start your experiment on yourself, whatever it is. So it might be a small dietary change, it might be a change in the way you drink water, it might be a change in the way you exercise, whatever. You can't keep waiting for evidence. You'll have to take action now because your life is going on now. You can't wait for 20 years down the line when you are half dead anyway. Um, so, when it comes to evidence based medicine, it applies to society at large. But as an individual, it is only meant to guide you in what direction you need to take. And you will have to keep watching that space to find out what's going to happen at the end. So that's how you take evidence based medicine when it comes to an individual. So, no lynching. You'll have to apply your decisions on yourself, not on anybody else. And if somebody else is applying their decisions on themselves, you should let them, because that's what civilized people do. Um, so that's about it. As long as you don't harm anybody else, and if you're willing to experiment on yourself, do it. And if somebody else is willing to experiment on themselves, let them. It's not your job. It's not the government's job either, but that's what we're doing right now. So that was my second part on evidence-based medicine. Now, if you've come into this video at the end or in the middle, go back and look at the first video that I made. Thank you.